What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you guys are new and you guys enjoy natural hair content, lifestyle content, and just enjoy life in general, then you're definitely on the right channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Now, y'all, as y'all can see, today's video is completely different. It is definitely something different I have not featured on my channel, and I am so excited to go ahead and get it out for you guys. So as you know, by the title, I will be doing my natural hair while talking about true crime. Now, y'all, I've been planning this for a minute, so I'm super excited to go ahead and get it out there. But a disclaimer, I honestly ran out of storage, so I couldn't complete this video because, I mean, if you record on your phone, you already know the issue. So I do apologize in advance of not being able to give you my complete thoughts on this case, but nonetheless, I mean, if you want more, I can definitely do a part 2 if that's what you guys would like. But yeah, so in little introduction to this, y'all, I'm super excited. I told y'all I was coming with some fire content, so I'm here, baby. I'm here. Okay. Yes. So the content that I'm coming with is, once again, I'm doing my natural hair while talking about true crime. Now, y'all, let me just say this. I am a huge fan of Bailey Sarian. I'm a huge fan of Kendall Ray. I love watching true crime. I love watching their videos. Majority of the time, if I'm not doing anything else, I'm either like chilling at home, watching one of their videos, or on Facebook, watching Kendall Ray. Like, I literally love their videos. So I am inspired by them to go ahead and like start this little series on my channel. And a little twist that I'm doing, I'm not going to be doing makeup. But I am going to be doing my hair while talking about just different true crimes that kind of had me like really thinking and like, you know, just kind of like a little shook in some instances. But yeah, so once again, I'm really excited to go ahead and push this content out for you guys. As you can see, I got a new little setup. If you're watching this video, it is officially October 1st, which means it's 30 days until Halloween. So yeah, I'm getting that notification again about my storage being full. This is so annoying. I promise y'all, I'm gonna get this right, and I'm gonna get a new phone with a whole lot more storage, or I'm gonna just go ahead and invest in a camera. But yeah, so anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, I got my little fall background going on back here. So each week I will be giving you guys a true crime case that happened on Halloween, all while doing my hair. I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna actually go ahead and get right into this video. Warning, today's video contains disturbing graphic descriptions of crimes, necrophilia fantasies, and some strong adult language. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright, you guys, so I am gonna go ahead and jump right into this. We have quite the story today, starting off the true crime true stories that have happened on Halloween. Y'all, these are quite the stories. I'm gonna just say that. And especially today's story, I was researching this story and y'all have so many questions. I really do not understand. Before I go ahead and get into it, I'm gonna let you guys know the products that I will be using will be the Carol's Daughter hair milk, which I will use as the base, as my liquid leave-in, I guess you could say. And then y'all already know I'm using the Curly Magic, oldie but a goodie, and then the Aunt Jackie's elongating flaxseed gel. Yeah, I just have a feeling this wash and go is gonna turn out fine, okay? Like, it's, yeah. Okay, y'all, where do I begin? Okay. All right, so today's true crime story is happening in the location of Michigan. Now, today, who we are talking about is a guy by the name of John Douglas White. John was born on May 20th of 1957, and I'm assuming in Michigan. Y'all, I'm sorry, I did not find a lot of background on his younger days, and not a lot of background on his family or even his wife. So I do apologize in advance. I don't have that much on that per se, but we're just going to fast forward. So he was born on May 20th, 1957. We're going to fast forward to a little bit later on in his youth. Now, during his younger days, it does say that John served in the Navy. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of information. I know y'all, I'm already coming with like, you didn't do your research, but bear with me. I don't think he spent that long in the Navy. And I did actually read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, where he was actually kicked out. Like I said, I don't know if that was true. You can do your own research. It's just where I researched that he might have been kicked out of the Navy. Also, while he was younger, he spent most of his years working as a long haul trucker. And I don't know from what year to what year, because unfortunately, again, it doesn't really explain a lot of it. Y'all, it just really, majority of the stories is going to be like the incidents, because unfortunately, it doesn't show a lot of the background of his childhood. Now, moving forward into his younger adult days, John got married. And then I believe at the time he had at least one child. Now, y'all, it doesn't say who his wife was anywhere. I couldn't find anywhere where it says that, who his wife was. And it only shows or only names one child of his. And I'm assuming it's because they probably don't want to claim him. That's what I wouldn't. Honestly, I'm just thinking about the story. I probably wouldn't blame him. But yeah, so it doesn't really explain anything about the wife, but we just know he was married. And moving on to the first incident. So this is Theresa Etherton. Now, Theresa was invited by John to his house to look at a racetrack in his basement. Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but somebody inviting me to their basement, like, I'm sorry, no, thank you. No, thank you. Like, Theresa agreed to go ahead and look at his race car track in the basement. So she goes down there. I'm assuming she's looking at it. Then the next thing, you know, John pulls out a knife and begins to stab her. And y'all, it just, from what I was reading, it happened just like that. So he continued to stab her. He first stabbed her in, I think, under her right shoulder blade, if I'm not mistaken. And he just continued to stab her, and he stabbed her a total of 15 times. Now, luckily, Theresa did survive this attack, but y'all, it gets even more fucked up. So in her interview, Theresa goes to basically explain the incident that happened. And y'all, it's crazy as hell. Anyway, she explains how he stabbed her 15 times. And then he goes to tell her, and according to Theresa, these are his exact words. And I quote, "You're going to go now. I'm really sorry you have to go like this, but what the fuck, you're just a woman." Now, yeah, it's not funny. This is not funny, but what? Like, I'm not even understanding. So you stabbed her 15 times because she's a woman. Okay. Anyway, so John ended up being charged with a maximum sentence of 10 years, but in a minimum sentence of 5. And he only ended up doing 2 years. Yeah, you heard me right. 2 years. Now, y'all, like, obviously, yeah, we both, you and I know this is attempted murder. So how in the hell did he get off in 2 years? 2, not 10, 2. He didn't even do the minimum that he was supposed to do. Y'all, just wait. So while in prison, John ended up trying to appeal his sentence and basically succeeding. Get to that in a freaking sec. John appealed on the reason that his previous attorney made a mistake and did not raise a insanity defense for him. So, yeah, insanity. Mind you, I do believe this dude has a lot of fucked up problems and he does have mental issues. But, yeah, I don't know. 2 years, like, that's just freaking ridiculous. But anyway, so John ended up claiming partial amnesia and ended up getting off, y'all. John ended up getting the plea deal and was only sentenced to 2 years probation, and he didn't have to do any more jail time as long as he made sure that he went and got mental health treatment. So yeah, I know what the hell, yeah, you and I both thinking like, yeah, this is some bullshit. It's like, I'm sorry, not trying to cuss. Yeah, complete BS. So on November 28th, 1983, John was released from prison and on to basically live his life however he pleased. Y'all know, it's, for one, it's already messed up because he stabbed this girl, 15 times and basically left her for dead, thinking she did. Thank God that she survived the attack. But y'all, it just gets even crazier from here. So a couple of years later, Theresa was minding her business on the streets. You know, this is where I read. She's minding her business on the street, you know, standing in line somewhere, when all of a sudden she hears a familiar voice. So Theresa turns around just to basically confirm her fucking worst fears. Sorry, y'all. But confirming her worst fears and basically, y'all. And turns around to find the same guy that literally stabbed her 15 times, staring at her and smiling. Yeah, like, I cannot freaking imagine. Like, just imagine the panic, like your heart literally. I just don't know. I don't know how I would freaking react in that situation. A person who's basically tried to kill me. I'm literally thinking this person is locked the fuck up away. Like, I ain't got to worry about him for at least a long time. To hear his voice and to turn around and the person smiling at me, like, y'all, if I had anything I was holding for breakfast, whatever, probably would have been released. I kid you not. I probably would have lost my literally. Okay. That, I just can't imagine. Like, imagine you being so familiar, and I'm pretty sure she's probably replayed this again and again. This is so fucked up, y'all. Like, just imagine. I just know she was replaying it in her mind. I mean, this is definitely something that you can't, like, just get out of your head. I mean, you were stabbed 15 times, damn near lost your life. And then you turn around to a familiar voice, and that voice is the person who's supposed to be locked up. Yeah. I don't know how I would react, but I know I would be tripping, okay? I would be, like, flipping the heck out, running, screaming, everything. So, yeah. So, mind you, this made Theresa very furious, as she should be, because, like, once again, like, how in the world is he freaking out? But yeah. So, for one, it definitely was messed up because, I mean, this sick fuck could have stabbed her again. Like, I mean, you just don't know. Like, you just turn around and they're staring at you, smiling. Like, I don't know, y'all. Comment down below how would you react to even think of that. Anyway, now mind y'all, this case happened in 1981. Victims' Rights and Restitution Act wasn't even created until 1990. Would have basically probably helped in a situation like that, very much so. Now, if you guys don't know, the Victims' Rights and Restitution Act from 1990, it has a lot of different things in it, but the main reason, which could be a big help, is basically the victim is aware of everything that happens in the case, the trial, etc. The victim knows the exact date or the possibility when a person is up for parole, when they're being released from prison. So that definitely would have helped Theresa, don't you think, in a case like that? I mean, like, a good warning would have really did something, y'all. I'm imagining so. But no, she had literally figured out that this guy was released the hard way by turning around and he's probably, Lord knows how close to her, smiling in her face. Like, yeah, no. So, yeah, that was the first case. Now, obviously, that wasn't the case that happened on Halloween. And actually, we have one more case to discuss before we even get to the last and final case that happened on Halloween. Yes, it seems that John was, yeah. So after John was released, he's basically minding his business. I mean, living his life like freaking nothing has happened. So, and y'all, do you know, during this whole time that he's still married, and actually, fasting forward, he actually has now 2 children and actually 1 on the way. Yeah. So I'm assuming his wife from before, like I say, it doesn't really go into like the wife and who she is and how many he had. Right now, I know he has a wife and a I guess an ex-wife and a fiance, but that's pretty much, like I say, it doesn't go into like his wife's or really his children at all like that, except for maybe like one. But yeah, so I'm assuming he was still married to the same person, to the same woman before he stabbed Theresa. So he's married. Fast moving forward. So like I said, y'all remember I said before that John used to work as a long haul truck driver. So he quit that job and he recently got a job working as the maintenance guy at a company called Textile Systems Incorporations. And this is actually was located in Ashtimo. Y'all, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, by the way. If I'm not, I'll list it down in somewhere. But anyway, it was Ashtimo Incorporation, but basically it was still in Michigan. Now, while working together, John and Vicki would end up actually having an affair. Now, it doesn't really explain or go into how long the affair lasted or how it was, or like if they were really close or if it was just, you know, like a bang, bang boogie, you know. Yeah. But unfortunately, on July 11th of 1994, yeah, I just completely lost my whole damn train of thought. Lord Jesus. I'm gonna get it right eventually, y'all. Anyway, so Vicki ended up going missing from this town. And of course, the police started to look for her, and luckily they were able to find her on surveillance video getting into a black truck with a guy described as having a beard. Basically, we all know who that is now. But yeah, so they saw her on video with John. And this was around like 3:30ish in the morning. And unfortunately, that would be the last time anybody would see Vicki alive. So eventually, John went in for questioning, and basically where he admitted to the affair that he had with Vicki. But he actually said that she was with him that night, but he safely dropped her back off hours later, and he didn't know what happened to her after that. So unfortunately, they couldn't really do too much with that, considering they didn't find the body at the time, or they didn't know where she was. She was still gone. She was still missing. So, you can't like charge somebody without any evidence, right? So anyway, John was released from questioning and goes about his business. So moving forward, 6 weeks later, Vicki's body was finally found. I forgot who it was found by. I feel like it was just like somebody like going through the area. But anyway, it was found in a rural area. Her body wasn't even within 5 miles of the grocery store where they seen the surveillance of her, basically the last time they seen her. And I'm just like, how did they miss that? Like, it took them six weeks, and didn't nobody think to look around the area that was close to the grocery store, which is the last place they seen her on footage. Like why did it take 6 weeks and somebody else had to find her? Like, what? I just thought that was just crazy within itself. But anyway, unfortunately, Vicki's body was so badly decomposed that they weren't able to basically identify the cause of death. She was also discovered with basically her naked and only a bra and a shirt around her neck. Yeah, it's really sad. But yeah, so John was taken in and he refused to actually take a lie detector test. So, he was the last person to be seen with her. Now, no, they can't necessarily prove that he did it, considering again, you couldn't even tell how she died. And y'all, what is crazy is they actually ended up doing a luminol test on his truck. And I hope I'm saying it right, but anyway, it's like luminol test for blood. And they did actually find traces of blood in his truck. But back then, technology isn't as good, and the DNA testing wasn't as good as it is today. So they couldn't, they couldn't tell whose blood it was. So that was just another thing that kind of just messed it up in proving that John was, he's the guy. Obviously, he's the guy, but they can't just seem to freaking prove that it's him. So anyway, John ended up pleading a no contest to involuntary manslaughter. And I didn't know what the hell no contest meant. So, of course, you're going to have to look it up. So basically, it means that, you the person, they're not admitting to the crime, but they're still allowing the court to determine their punishment. So, I mean, it's saying, I didn't do it, but you did, in a type of sense. And usually with those types, with no contest deals, you end up getting like a shorter sentence. So yeah, I already know where I'm going with this. Right. So on May 8th, John was charged, but the maximum sentence was only for 15 years. Right. Like 15 years. Are you freaking kidding me? And actually, John was only did 13 out of the 15 years that you could have possibly been charged. So yeah, I just don't understand. Like, it just seems to me like the guy keeps getting off, like really getting away with murder. I mean, he's doing his time, but technically he's getting away with murder, you know? So y'all, this the kicker part, y'all. This is the part where I'm just not understanding. He gets to kill again, y'all. I am not kidding you. Like, I don't know how in the world it happened, but it happened. So while he was still in prison for the killing of Vicki Sewell, John was going regularly to his psychologist in the prison. And in fact, he actually admitted to his psychologist at one point in time that he fantasized about, basically, it was two women in particular. I'm not really going to go into their names. So it was two women in particular that he fantasized about killing and then having sex with their corpse. Now, when I read this part, I was like, what? Like, yeah, I just don't understand. Like, I got so many questions, but I'm gonna save it for the end. But anyway, so yeah, he basically confessed to the psychologist that he fantasizes about killing these women and, like I just said, having sex with their bodies. So now, me being, if I was a psychologist, that would have been a red flag right there. Like, okay, he just confessed to me this, and these weren't just like no fantasy women. It was like two women in particular that actually, like, one was his attorney. I don't know what the other one was, his social worker or something. But anyway, and they actually ended up telling those women. I mean, they didn't really make a comment on it, but just still, the fact is, like, that would have been a red flag. Like, listen, I know you can't really prove that he did it in a sense, but we still charged him. But I mean, he needs to do a little bit longer than 15 years. Okay. Like, he needs serious help. And even then, he doesn't need to be walking free. He needs to be in a mental institution somewhere. Okay. Because obviously, something right here. Like, something's way off. I mean, it's one thing to be left, but you all the way out over there, like, having sex with, like, y'all, I'm not understanding it. It's weird. Anyway, so once he was released from prison, John actually moved up to northern Michigan, I want to say, to a town called Mount Pleasant. And y'all, this not funny, but I don't even know how the hell it happened. But anyway, so he ended up finding Christ, if you want to say that. Found religion and became a pastor. Yeah, you heard me right. A pastor. Him done stabbed a woman already 15 times, damn near killing her, murdered another woman, left her body out in the woods, and now you're a pastor. But once again, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to just leave the questions. I'm going to leave the questions for the end. But yeah, John, he becomes a pastor. Actually, I think 14 people were following him. So he became a pastor at the Christ Community Church and Fellowship in that town. And like I said, 14 people were actually following him. While John was pastor, he ended up meeting a woman by the name of Sally Gay. Him and Sally got engaged. It doesn't really go into, how long or they were together. They got engaged. Now, Sally had a daughter named Rebekah. And apparently John, I keep laughing but it's just like, it's more like a nervous laugh. It's not a laugh like, I do not think this is funny at all. Like, I think this is just pure, I'm not even gonna say it, but I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing like a nervous laugh, like you can't be serious. But so apparently, I don't know if John, he had a crush on Rebekah or whatever, but he began to have the same fantasies that he was having, that he confessed to the psychologist when he was in prison, that, you know, him killing women and having sex with their bodies. So he was having this particular fantasy with Rebekah, and thus leading to the last and final crime committed by John Douglas White. So October 31st of 2012. So in the early hours of Halloween, John ended up drinking several beers, then walking over to Rebekah's mobile home. Now, mind you, both, I guess him and Sally, they lived in a mobile home together, and like Rebekah was probably like maybe either next door, like maybe a couple of doors down in a mobile home as well. So John walked to Rebekah's mobile home, and basically, like, just to put it in a long story short, he attacked her, hit her in the head with a rubber mallet, and continued to hit her and beat her until she was unconscious. He began to strangle her until he killed her. And then he took her body to a rural area and dumped it, basically. And then, y'all, this is the even more crazy part. Now, mind y'all, while all of this was going on, Becca did have a son who was literally in the room next door while all of this was going on. So yeah, after he dumped the body in a rural area, he came back to the mobile home, got Rebekah's son, whose name was Conway, got him all dressed up, and actually drove him to a restaurant, I want to say, to meet his father. So when Rebekah didn't report to work, all of her associates immediately knew that something was going on, because this is very unlike Rebekah to not show up for work. So as soon as she did not report for work, they went ahead and reported her missing. So while this is going on, Rebekah is still missing, and at church, while at church, John tells his people, his followers, to basically pray for Rebekah, as if he don't already know what the hell done happened to her. So while that was going on, John was eventually picked up for questioning about the disappearance of Rebekah. And he actually didn't admit right away to killing her. He actually was like, he didn't know what happened. Detectives really had to kind of like, not pry it out of him, but kind of like convince him in a weird, sick way that, hey, you know, you don't want her body being out in the cold. Are you sure you don't know where she's at? So nonetheless, John, he still played like as if he didn't know, but actually a day later, he went on and to finally confess to the murder. So John confessed to the murder, and he also confessed and brought the cops exactly to the location of where he dropped off her body. After being arrested, John actually admitted to, before killing Rebekah, having fantasies about basically killing her and then having sex with her corpse, which is, I don't know other way to say this. It's just sick as fuck. But yeah, I mean, it goes back to, honestly, you guys, it goes back to how he literally admitting to having fantasies about killing women and then having sex with their dead bodies. And no one seemed to think that was wrong. Like, I'm just not understanding it. Anyway, so finally, on April 18th of 2013, John was charged for the murder of Rebekah Gay. And the maximum sentence was 85 years, which still, honestly, it should have been life. It should have been a life sentence. I'm not understanding how it was even 85 years. It should have been automatically life. This is literally his third assault and fucking second murder, and y'all give him 85 years? Yeah, like, it should have been life. Anyway, the maximum was 85 years and the minimum was literally 56. So just to think, he still had the possibility within 56 years, even though he would have been old, like literally old as hell, but still the possibility of being up for parole in 56 years, knowing what he did, like, okay. So finally, it seems that John is, like, we're definitely for certain this time, he's not getting out. Right when you think he's locked up for good, on August of 28th of 2013, guards find John unresponsive in his cell and basically hanging. So guards were unsuccessful with reviving him, and John did die on October 28th of 2013. It is a lot of questions with this story, and I'm gonna be honest, it did not have a lot of information. Definitely is not as much as I wanted it to go ahead and explain like what possibly could have like even led up to this. I mean, we all know, but like even more of like his younger background, like what happened during his childhood to make him like this way. Yeah, I literally tried like looking up like childhood background. I mean, nothing. It doesn't really give even a lot of information on like who his wife was. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and like kind of throw out my questions that I have, because I do have quite a few of them, especially like when I researched this case. So first of all, the first question being is, how in the world was he even able to be released the first time? Now, it does go into and explain the reason, and I can understand, but even then, like, how could y'all let this happen? Like, I just really felt like the system failed Theresa, failed Vicki, failed Rebekah. I feel like they literally failed. Like, and mind you, I understand this was way back in like the 80s. I can understand technology is not as up to date as it is now, nor is like the DNA testing, the forensics part of it. But I don't know. It's just something in my spirit just says like they could have did better. Like, honestly, they do explain of how the attorney who John claims didn't do a plea deal. He did. Him and the judge who took the case, the very first case, when he stabbed Theresa, like they both passed away. So it didn't kind of help. They weren't there to like kind of defend and make sure that he didn't get out. So yeah, that definitely played a part and ruled in his favor, definitely. But just the thing of, my biggest question is just, how in the hell did he become a pastor? I mean, not after even his first victim, right after his second victim, he was able to become a pastor like that. And to think, who in the hell would want to, but who would want to follow him? Like, they know I'm pretty sure they knew who his first two victims, what he did. I'm pretty sure they knew he went to prison for 13 years and got out, and they allowed him to be a pastor. Like, y'all, like, that's really crazy to me. Because for one, I mean, I can understand you turning your life around per se, but I mean, you just skipped the whole part about giving your life away. You just said, fuck it, I'm gonna become a pastor. Like, F been like, forget the deacon stage, the a full blown pastor. And I'm just like, wow. And I'm even more shocked of, how was he even able to remarry? Like, I mean, Rebekah's mother, Sally, like, I'm not understanding, like, did she not was she not aware of his past? Like, did she not think he was capable of doing this again? It just, yeah, it's definitely a lot going on. Okay, you guys, so I do apologize, but my phone will not let me be great. Y'all, I barely have storage, and I'm getting to that point where it's sending me that notification like, look, storage is almost full. So I definitely know I'm not going to be able to go ahead and say all I want to say on this video and get through it. So yeah, I'm just going to cut it right here. Anyway, I really do apologize, you guys. I really wanted to go into depth on this video, but it's just like, I don't have a camera yet. All I'm working with is my phone right now. So I'm just like, yeah, it's annoying. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video now. Definitely do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I cannot wait to make more content with natural hair and true crime. This is basically like an introduction video. Super excited. And yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time. I love you guys, and I will definitely see you in my next video. Bye.